What's up, everybody? We are back after a, I guess, 24-hour hiatus. Not really sure how much time has passed, but we are continuing the series from yesterday between these two players. It's gonna be the yellow Zerg, Mr. kevinnleee, going up against his Terran opponent in the red, bbreed. So when we last left off, Kevin was up 2-1. So this is going to be game number 4 in the series. To start things off this game, Kevin going for a hatchery first once again. So going for more economical macro openings. No early pools just yet in this series. Everything pretty standard so far. And of course from the Terran, it's going to be his usual barracks and refinery, but not really mining out of this refinery at full capacity. Only just now putting workers 2 and 3 onto it. And no Reaper this game either. Gonna be a pretty fast expand. And now Kevin's spawning pool is just about to finish. He should have just enough minerals to start up 2 queens. Well, his natural's not even done, so scratch that. I'm gonna start his speed as well and continue to mine gas as he usually does. Most Zergs opt to pull 2 drones off of the gas, but Kevin, not really the type to do that. We might see this gas go towards a fast layer or perhaps a baneling nest. Or perhaps both. We'll have to wait and see. Now the first 2 Zerglings gonna make their way across the map, see if they can find any damage. They might be able to get this Marine. But no, Kevin doesn't want to go for that fight. I think 2 Zerglings do beat a Marine, if I'm not mistaken. And bbreed. He's got his second gas in the main. He's getting a second barracks, and he has this factory ready to swap onto the reactor. So far, it looks like just his standard build. But he's gonna want to do some scouting pretty soon to see what Kevin's up to, as Kevin's layer is almost complete. He has gotten gases 2, 3, and 4, but not quite mining out of them just yet. This one in the main being neglected. And now the layer's done, so what's gonna be the follow-up? Ooh, there it is, that's a spire. So bbreed is gonna have to sniff this out. But so far, not really too much anti-muta tech, just Marines and a single Widow Mine. And Kevin dropping a Changeling to scout, see what's going on. And what's bbreed looking at? Is he... Well, he should see that one Marine, but not quite paying attention. So Kevin getting a free scout in, and of course on bbreed's side, not much scouting. Does go for a scan in the natural, and that should give him some pretty good information. Doesn't spot the spire, but he spots these gases, he spots this wall, and that should tell him that Kevin's purposefully being defensive, getting a lot of gas. So that might just be enough information already as bbreed is throwing up 2 missile turrets in his mineral lines. I would like to see some more in the fringes of his base, maybe up here, maybe over here. And some Widow Mines could be devastating if Kevin flies into those. As we see 10 mutas on the way. Looks like he's gonna wait for the rest of his mutas before moving out. And bbreed, he is getting that extra missile turret. I like that. Positioning his marines here. Only 4 marines, so mutas can take that out, but the Widow Mine as well in position. So I think bbreed in a pretty okay spot defensively. Is definitely going to take some damage, but Kevin picks off 1 SCV, does a little damage onto that supply depot. Doesn't really want to go too deep into bbreed's main base. And so far, the defense is pretty good. Not losing too much to these mutas just yet. And that's a lot of commitment to the mutas. That's 10 mutas, 4 more on the way. That's a lot of minerals and a lot of gas. If they can't get that much damage done, it's good for bbreed. Mutas, of course, not the best in straight up fights. They're more of a harassment, hit and run tool, but now the wall has been busted open, and that opens the door for these lings to come in, but the Widow Mine shots are good, cleaning up almost all the lings, and Kevin's forced to retreat for now. So pretty nice job from bbreed weathering the storm so far. Now Kevin forced to take his 3rd, which isn't mining just yet, and looks like no intention to either. 7 more mutas on the way, no drones being produced, so no plans to drone up that 3rd just yet. Kevin getting a lot of mutas. Does he have upgrades on them? Nope. Only upgrade he has is ling speed. He's working on his centrifugal hooks upgrade for banelings. It's going to be a Lingbane muta composition, very standard. But that's a lot of mutas, and bbreed's going to need more turrets to deal with that. Mines can be fantastic if they can get the hit, but any good muta player will be able to dodge those. Indeed, Kevin kind of just dancing around, avoiding the Widow Mines, trying to pick off what he can. Picking up a few Marines here and there, maybe a supply depot, some attachments, and that's good damage. This is a big commitment, but he is keeping bbreed locked in at home. Ooh, gonna take a couple nice Widow Mine shots there, and that is gonna trim down the muta numbers just a bit, peppering up these few mutas. And yeah, he's gotta back up and let these mutas heal. And this is gonna give bbreed some time to breathe, maybe land his 3rd, and that's very much needed from our Terran player. If we take a look at the economy, it's been mostly Kevin for most of the game. Bit of a spike here, probably due to mules. But all things considered, the worker count is actually in favor of the Terran by quite a bit, 50 to 41. Considering all the damage he did with the mutas, Kevin has not been droning up. Instead, focusing on his army. which is good and all, but if he were to lose a fight, he won't really be able to remax too easily. He's trying to go back in with his mutas, spots a missile turret that I think he could have taken, but he decides to back up. And that's a lot of mutas. 19 mutas. Gonna be just flying around, looking for some more damage. Gonna pounce on this missile turret, take it out very quickly. And that's so annoying. Leaves the mineral line wide open. Go for the one in the main as well. Clean that up as well. And 10 SCVs have gone down, but bbreed still with the worker lead, 49 to 43. So bbreed very on top of his SCV production and very oversaturated here. He could transfer some of these back to his main and or natural, but they're actually pretty well saturated there. Could use a few more here in natural. Kevin going for a hive now, getting pathogen glands for infestors. So Kevin maybe gonna look for some infestor play. Not something we see all too often out of Kevin. Now bbreed's trying to move out. Mutas are gonna catch these initial Hellions, but they cannot really fight these Marines. And that is the weakness of mutas. They cannot go for the head-on fight. Not against Marines. So these mutas gonna be dead weight right now and gonna get caught a little bit, losing a few of them, and now the Ling Bane army of Kevin gonna run in, but some nice Widowmine shots actually. Cleaning up a lot of them. bbreed microing his art out, trying to pull back, but that's just so much Zerg. Ooh, nice shot there. Getting another handful of Banelings. And now Kevin looking like he wants to try to end the game, and bbreed's gonna need to muster up more of an army right now. He doesn't really have all too much. Let's see if this Widowmine shot can connect. Ooh, nice one. 5 Banelings down. And oh, that's rough. These Banelings. There's just so many of them. They're gonna go crashing into the SCVs. Oh my god, it's a bloodbath. Now Kevin in full control of this game. He has taken the worker lead. Just flood in now, and bbreed kind of trickling in his units. Might actually hold. But no, not quite. The Marines kind of running out, and now the mutas taking another shot there. So heavy casualties on both sides, but definitely favoring the Zerg player, who is up over 20 workers. And bbreed's economy and everything is just in shambles. He's lost everything at this third base. Gonna drop some mules now, but Kevin is not gonna let up. Gonna go for a follow-up perhaps. A lot of Lings here. Mutas gonna try to come in as well, but actually only 3 mutas remaining, and there's a lot of Widowmines, which cleaned up almost all the Zerglings. So nice job from bbreed, stabilizing after that horrendous engagement, losing 20-something SCVs back there. And these Widowmines have been clutch once again. 9 kills to another 9, 2, 5. So a lot of damage being done by these Widowmines. And actually bbreed has taken the supply lead once again, 117 to 105, and he does have less workers, so that means his army supply is much better. But Kevin has access to hive tech now. He is going for Ultralisks. He has all his infestor upgrades, so he's getting 6 infestors now, and a couple fungal growths could absolutely ruin this primarily Marine-based army. So we'll see how good Kevin's control is with those infestors. And where are those? Oh, they just popped out. Those are pretty gross looking units. They've got like a weird sack of, I don't know what that is in the back. I guess that's where the fungal growth comes out of. That is gross, man. And of course fungal growth can lock down the units and make them very vulnerable to banelings. And now Kevin's Ultralisk Cavern has completed. He's getting his chitinous plating, getting his first couple Ultralisks. He is a bit behind on his upgrades, only starting 2-2 just now. Meanwhile, bbreed is sitting pretty comfortable on +3 attack and +2 armor, so a very nice upgrade advantage from our Terran player. And bbreed has evened up the worker count once again, 59 to 62, and of course mules playing a big factor. Well, it doesn't look like it, but I promise you mules are pretty good. And now bbreed going for an attack. It looks like he's gonna have to be careful. That's a scary army. Fungal growth, like I said, can be very devastating. And bbreed kind of baiting him into the Widow Mines, and ooh, big shots there. Cleaning up all the banelings and salvaging most of his Marines. And bbreed gonna try to go in now. Eats a huge fungal, and that locks down his Marines and allows the Ultralisk to just chomp away. Oh, that is rough. Very nice play from Kevin. Not so much there, losing his infestors. Oh my god. Like I said, these Widow Mines coming in so clutch. 27 on this one. Oh my god. But that was a beautiful play from Kevin with some massive fungals and a random swarm host there. That's got to be a misclick. bbreed dropping pretty significantly in the supply count, but he does have a good economy. So given enough time, he could get himself back up, but he's gonna need to change his unit composition a little bit. Marines, as good as they are, not gonna be too useful against Ultralisks. So we do see some ghosts on the way. Ghost reporting. And ghosts very good against almost everything that Zerg has. They can snipe down Ultralisks very quickly. It takes 3 snipes to kill an Ultralisk. And they can EMP the infestors, rendering them essentially useless. And if bbreed wants to get a little cheeky, he can even go for some nukes. I don't think we'll really be seeing that, but always an option. And bbreed going to be sprinkling in some Marauders into his composition as well. Marauders very good against those high armored units such as Ultralisks, but only 3, so only 5 rather. But bbreed going for his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th base now. Kevin also on 5 bases. So economy pretty even for these guys. And again, Kevin's economy, his worker count rather, pretty low as far as Zergs go. But his army composition is very fearsome. Look at those Ultralisks. And these 2 Widow Mines finally going to be cleaned up. And this is a good mixture in my opinion. Not too many Ultralisks. There's only, what is that, 9 Ultralisks. That's a fine number. Kevin. He is maxed out, gonna go for an attack, gonna go for this newly landed 5th base, which is forced to lift up. And he's just going to ignore it, going to go for the army, and it's going to be tough for bbreed to hold this. He needs to back up, try to bait the units into the Widow Mines, but oh, it's a massacre. As good as the Widow Mine shots are, as good as ghosts are, they cannot hold against these Ultralists. So it looks like it's going to be another victory for kevinnleee, showing that he can indeed play a late game, and GG gets called. Kevin gonna take game number 4. Alright, welcome back. This is game number 5 now, between the yellow Zerg player, kevinnleee, and his pink Terran opponent, bbreed. Kevin leading the series 3-1, and showing that he can in fact do more than cheese. He does go for rushes, but they're not super all in, and bbreed thus far has not really had an answer to Kevin's shenanigans. Kevin went for a Muta rush once again that didn't really end the game, but did enough damage to bbreed. Bought himself time to get up to ultras, and bbreed just did not have a good answer for the ultras. bbreed going for a scout once again, always aware that Kevin can go for super cheeky rushes. So bbreed gonna just be safe, send an SCV to do some scouting. Gonna scout that it's once again a very normal opening. Hatchery first, then an extractor, and then his pool. And of course bbreed, not really one to change things up too often. Certainly not going to do it this game, at least not just yet. Doing his usual opening. And Kevin's been giving bbreed a lot to think about. Is it going to be mutas? Is it going to be a Nidus? Is it going to be just a Ling Flood? bbreed hasn't really had the chance to play his game, and he's usually the one kind of leading the dance, going for his usual 6.5 minute timing attack that he likes to do against Zergs. But Kevin kind of flipping the script, choosing to be the one to lead the aggression, and bbreed doesn't really have an answer so far. So this game looks like so far 3 barracks actually. I think usually by now we see a factory, but no factory in sight just yet. He does have his usual reactor that he swaps onto the factory, but it's so far just gonna be barracks. Kevin once again going for an early layer, throwing down a second extractor, and 3 and 4 not coming up just yet. So I wonder what this is gonna be. He could always just throw those down a little later, but if he wants to go for mutas, usually want to get your gases, and he does get them now, so could be mutas again, or it could be something else. And that's going to be up to bbreed to scout and figure out. bbreed going for a lot of Marines currently, going for both upgrades at once, stim and combat shield, now getting his factory. And Kevin gonna be getting a roach warren. That's interesting. Don't really need 4 gases on 2 bases for a roach play. Maybe he wants to go for Ravagers, I'm not really sure. 10 roaches starting up right away. And roach speed coming down as well. And again, this is a lot of gas being mined, and bbreed gonna throw down the scan, and he's gonna spot these roaches popping out. So I wonder if he actually paid attention to that, or did he look away? And that's going to be very important. And he is throwing down a missile turret in both his mineral lines, so maybe he's expecting mutas, and that could be rough if he doesn't get the right unit composition. But Marines, Widow Mines will be okay against roaches. Ideally, like some Marauders as well, but bbreed gonna be moving out now with his force of Marines, 2 Widow Mines, and 1 Imposter. No medevacs with this army just yet. I did see one making, and there it is, flying across now. But Kevin has a lot of roaches, and again, a lot of gas, mining out of 4 gases, so he should try to turn some of those into Ravagers. And now these roaches greeting the Marine army. That 3rd is going to go down, and Kevin doesn't really have to fight anymore. There's nothing to save here, so he should just back up, buy some more time. And bbreed, this is something he does a lot. He just kind of sits his units out in the middle of nowhere and gives his opponent a chance to just take a great engagement. And the longer he chills here, the worse it's gonna be. So he needs to back up. It looks like he is doing so now. And is he gonna go home, or is he just gonna look for another angle? Looks like he's just going to reposition to this location and then going to chill here for now. But the longer he can keep the Zerg on 2 bases, the better it's going to be for him. And Kevin criminally undersaturated here on the natural. Only 8 out of 16. And Kevin really needs to drone up better. We see the worker count once again favoring the Terran once again, 38 to 35, and Kevin gonna be rolling on out himself with his Lings, Roaches, and Ravagers. And now once again, bbreed kind of really randomly out in the middle of nowhere. He's gonna greet these units, but that's too much Roach Ravager, so he's gonna have to back up, but he has bought himself some time, so maybe that's going to be enough. We'll have to see, as that force has pretty much died. bbreed's going to have to muster up a defense now. 1 Banshee, that's going to be helpful. Nothing really that can shoot up in the Zerg army. So Banshee can be pretty good, but gonna have to watch out for those biles. Nicely done. But that's a lot of Zerg. Oh my goodness, no tanks from the Terran. But the wall buying a lot of time for the bio to get some damage done, and does eat one bile there. And gotta be careful. Nicely done once again. Avoiding the corrosive biles, and I guess that's a defense. Kevin backing up, going on home. Trying to pick off this Banshee with the corrosive biles, but that's very tough if the Terran is paying attention. And he's just getting free damage in. 2 kills on this Banshee so far. Now the Queen is going to be able to shoo it away. And Kevin trying to get his 3rd now, as it's almost completed. And no 3rd in sight for bbreed. And a lot of SCVs kind of slacking there, just following around this Marauder, it looks like, or I don't know, but bbreed, he does need to do a little bit better with his SCV rallying, I guess you would call it. Often see SCVs kind of just slacking off, standing around like this guy. And that's the only one. No, 2 more here. So yeah. Now these 2 Banshees, they have Cloak now, but Kevin with an Overseer and Hydralisk gonna be able to repel the Banshees for now, but nothing over at the 3rd, so bbreed gets another 2 drones there. Gonna try to go into the natural, but Kevin's army is there, so he's gonna have to back away. Might lose this 1 Banshee. Oh no! Now Kevin with a Nidus network, gonna plop 2 down into the main base of bbreed, and bbreed spots it, so he's pulling everything back. Gonna pick off 1, but the second one is gonna come up, and that's the sound the Nidus Worm makes. Gonna start unloading his units into the line of fire, but burrow movement now from Kevin, but bbreed aware of that, drops a scan. He has a missile turret anyways. Gonna lose 8 SCVs for his troubles. Drops another scan to spot. But these roaches being super annoying. Gonna get some more SCVs and the natural before they are finally cleaned up. And just 1 roach remaining. Oh no, gonna get killed as well. So good effort by Kevin, and I don't quite think that was worth it. 10 SCVs for those 2 worms and a bunch of roaches. But now bbreed with a pretty sizable supply advantage, 145 to 119. Workers dead even at 35. And Kevin, he has had his 3rd for a while, but no mining whatsoever ever since he lost those 2 drones to the Banshees. And now it looks like bbreed gonna be moving out now. Spots those changelings this time, and this is gonna be a tough hold for Kevin, as he's going for 2 Niduses into bbreed's natural. I think bbreed's too far. He's just gotta go for it, and we might be seeing a base trade. bbreed jumps on this 3rd, kills it very quickly. Kevin unloading into bbreed's natural, forced to lift off 10 SCVs down, and bbreed He doesn't give a care in the world, gonna continue barreling forward. Kills all those Hydras, a Ravager, and this is looking like a Terran victory here. Some roaches spawning into their deaths, and this is a massive Terran army. These roaches and Hydra, singular, trying to come back. No, they're not. They're just gonna go for the base trade, but as the age-old saying goes, you should never base trade a Terran. And the reason for that is because they can do this. Lift off and be super annoying. bbreed. Gonna kill the lair, gonna ransack the Zerg base. And this is pretty much over, folks. It's gonna be another point on the board for bbreed. Kevin doing his best, but there's no way for him to kill everything. It's just a matter of time before Kevin's gonna have to tap out. bbreed cleans up everything at the natural, and it looks like the only Zerg building remaining is gonna be the spawning pool and these two Nidus worms. So bbreed,
is under attack.
I mean, he sees everything. Kevin's being revealed, obviously, because he has no hatcheries. And bbreed's just gonna remake, float his command centers to different locations, and even in a head-on fight, this army cannot take what bbreed has. So Kevin gonna try to kill some more buildings, but the Terran army is coming back to defend. Kevin not even gonna go for the fight. GG gets called. bbreed does indeed take the game. Alright, welcome back, folks. This is game number 6, I believe it is. Yes, so the Zerg player in the yellow, Mr. Kevinnleee, is up 3 games to 2 over on the side of our red Terran, Mr. bbreed. Very nice game number 5 from bbreed in their last game. Went for pretty standard Marine Marauder Medevac mine composition, MMMM, if you will. And Kevin going for a bit of a odd composition in ZVT with his Roach Ravager Hydra. Not something you really see too often in this matchup, and he could not make it work. Tried to go for a base trade, which is always ill-advised against Terrans. So game number 6, 3-2. Can bbreed tie it up? He is once again going for his standard opening, and Kevin once again going for the hatchery first opening. So very curious that we haven't seen any ling rushes so far. Kevin may be aware of his reputation, so going for more standard openings. Of course, he does tend to transition into a rush of some sort eventually. And he has been opting for a pretty early layer in all these games. And I don't think this game is going to be any different. He's continuing to mine gas once again. So I'd expect a layer as soon as this queen finishes up. bbreed feeling safe to drop his command center down after he's scouted. I'm going to be walling up the front of his ramp there. And is that a hole actually? How do I turn my camera? No, I think that's tight. So bbreed in this game going for similar build as last game, going for a 3 barracks right off the bat. This looks like it's going to be a primarily bio-focused army once again. And ooh, this overlord, not really sure where it was going, but gonna get picked off. Or was it just a debate as some zerglings running across the map might be able to catch these 3 marines, get some vengeance for their fallen overlord brother. But that's a lot of zerglings, gonna force this command center to lift off, and bbreed doesn't really have too many units. So Kevin with the baneling bust this game might be able to take a very quick game. bbreed thought he was safe, but Kevin wagging his finger going nuh-uh-uh as he goes and busts on in, gets a 3-for-1 deal, both supply depots as well as the reactor, and he floods in with the zerglings, and there is just no Terran left to defend. The bunker does finish, but there are no marines to even fill it with. It's going to be a quick game, and GG gets called. Kevin gonna take game number 6.